Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Kevin, and in today's video I want to discuss strength versus hypertrophy when it comes to working out. Now, truth be told, no matter how you work out at the gym, these two concepts pretty much go hand in hand. I mean, you really can't work out without hypertrophy, to be honest, because if you're working out, you're probably going to be gaining some muscle, so you're going to be getting some hypertrophy. But when it comes to strength, you probably have to work for it, and you have to more so focus on progressively overloading. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, firstly, what is hypertrophy and what is strength? Well, let's start off easy. We all know what strength is, right? But when it comes to strength training, this pretty much means focusing on basically lifting heavier and more so progressively overloading. Now, what is hypertrophy? Hypertrophy pretty much has to do with increasing the look and the size of your muscles as opposed to lifting for strength. So when it comes to hypertrophy, you're going to be lifting in the 6 to 20 rep range, but more so towards 20, more so towards 15. Basically, you're going to be lifting in higher rep ranges and focusing on range of motion and contracting your muscles to pretty much ensure muscle growth. But when it comes to strength, you're going to be lifting in the 1 to 6 rep range because you're going to be lifting super heavy and you're going to be focusing on pretty much your strength and I guess mastering the movement as opposed to just going faster when you're hypertrophy training. And when it comes to strength training, you're going to be exercising a lot slower. But when it comes to hypertrophy training, obviously, since you're in the higher rep ranges, you're going to be going a lot more faster. Also, in terms of strength and hypertrophy, I want to say when you're doing strength training, you're probably going to want to rest between sets for like 3 to 5 minutes because you're going to be super sore when strength training. But when it comes to stuff like hypertrophy, you can really just rest for like 1 to 2 minutes and get right back at it. Now, maybe you're asking yourself, well, Kevin, does it matter if you're bulking or cutting in relation to strength or hypertrophy training? To be honest, not really. But in my personal experience, and what I would recommend is that if you're bulking, you should try to focus on strength training because you're going to have a lot more energy and you're just going to feel so much better. So strength training is going to be ideal. But if you're cutting, maybe more so try to focus on hypertrophy because let's be honest here, if you're cutting, do you really care about your strength? I mean, yeah, you care about it, but more so you're just trying to look better. So obviously it makes sense to do hypertrophy training to make your muscles look bigger and better. But like I said, whether you're cutting or bulking, you can do strength training or hypertrophy training. And in fact, you can even incorporate both into your routine or into your split. It doesn't really matter. You can have days where you focus on strength and lift heavier, and you can have days where you focus on hypertrophy and maybe don't lift as heavy. Now, either way, when you're strength training or hypertrophy training, one key thing to keep in mind is that both ways you still have to focus on progressively overloading. This is the same thing when you're cutting or bulking. If you're cutting or bulking, you have to focus on increasing your weight over time. And it's the same thing here. Whether you're strength training or hypertrophy training, you have to focus on increasing your weight over time. Now, is there specific exercises that you should focus more so with strength versus hypertrophy? I mean, not really. But if I had to recommend something, I would say focus on your strength when it comes to compound exercises and focus on hypertrophy when it comes to isolation exercises. So for example, if you're doing bench press, I'd say focus on strength. I mean, you don't want to bench and do like 20 reps, right? But if you're doing, say, an isolation exercise like bicep curls, you don't want to pick up like 40-pound dumbbells and just do like 3 ego lifting reps and call it a day. If you're doing bicep curls, you want to go lighter. You want to go like maybe 15 pounds, 20, 25 pounds, and do more so like 15 reps. I'd say that's how you should go about it when it comes to compound and isolation exercises in relation to strength and hypertrophy. Another thing that I want to mention is that if you're working out at home for any reason, whether your gym is closed or whatever the case may be, I'd say focus on hypertrophy, because to be honest, that's all you really can focus on. If you're working out at home and you have minimal equipment, I'd say just focus on hypertrophy until you can get back to the gym. And if you have good gym equipment at the gym, and obviously, you know, you're actually at the gym and not working out at home, then try to focus on strength training for the most part, since you have the actual opportunity to, if you're coming from a background of basically working out at home, if that makes any sense. A good tip that I always like to follow as well is that if you're hypertrophy training, I want to say you want to try to feel the burn more, if that makes any sense. You want to feel the soreness even more. Not that that's an indicator of a good workout or anything, but just in terms of hypertrophy training to stimulate muscle growth, that's what you want to do in my opinion. And if you're strength training, you want to go a lot slower and focus on the movement a bit more. Try to master the movement as opposed to going faster and pumping out multiple reps. But yeah guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I don't really have anything else to say about strength or hypertrophy training. I think I covered pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. I'm not sure how long this video is gonna be. I hope it's not too short, but again, I hope it's also not too long, because this is not really a super in-depth topic in my opinion, but it's still something that I wanted to make a video on for people who are maybe beginners or might want to know the difference between strength training and hypertrophy training. But yeah, other than that, I think that's gonna do it for this video. So if you guys enjoyed, consider subscribing, drop a like, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace!